Hey guys, it's me, ClickerHands. So this is not my usual type of video, but the Switch 2 came out and it has a lot of drama. A lot of it is rightful, at least, like, it's Nintendo's being a bit greedy, and I don't support most of it. But, like, there's these weird people who are, like, upset that, like, people are buying a Switch 2 and actually enjoying it. So I thought, you know what, let's make a video making fun of, like, a dumb video I found. If it's a parody or, like, comedy sketch, and I just don't see it, props to you. This is a hilarious video. If it's serious, go outside, please. Okay, let's go.
Hello, I am the real-life fake wizard. Today I am going to discuss the ongoing launch of the...
Before we begin, that is such an amazing YouTube channel name, I gotta say. Real-life fake wizard. I don't know why, it's my kind of name. But that's not important to the video. Let's go.
Nintendo Switch 2, of which it was released yesterday to the public. This console is not...
Already got one. It is, like, it's such a good console. I mean, yeah, I wish it was a bit more unique than just mouse controls being added. I don't really know what they could go from the Switch without, like, completely redesigning something also. I'm not going to cut every 5 seconds. I just want to make sure, like, I'm not trying to steal their video. I'm just trying to, like, make fun of it so it'll be cut up and everything.
Without its controversies. I've certainly come to know many of you from my coverage and discussion on these points. But now that we're in day 2 of the Switch 2 being on the market, some things have very clearly come into perspective. Firstly, the pre-orders being sold out in seconds and then remaining sold out for the almost entire duration of the pre-order window was staged.
Was it? I'm actually so curious. Let me get rid of the low part on. Oh, yeah. Oh, over here. Just that. If you're curious what the other tab was, it was a manga. Okay, so, what would it be called? It would be called Nintendo Switch 2 Pre-Order Staged. Stages, not stage. Okay, there. Okay, we'll skip
that was a crock of crap. Nintendo and distributors of the Nintendo Switch 2 have very clearly engaged in artificially reducing the amount of consoles available for pre-order. Stores all over the United States have or had plenty of consoles readily available for purchase on launch day. So for it to be sold out for all these weeks, but stores were going to have pallets of product on launch day.
I mean, yeah, it's smart business. What do you expect? Oh, yeah, we're not going to do the thing that makes more money. I promise, it gets funny later. This is, like, the serious part.
It makes me say, and contributes to a larger discussion, every single thing that Nintendo is doing and has done is manipulative marketing. It's all marketing.
Obviously.
Doing things and saying things in certain ways to invoke emotional responses.
You mean advertising?
I live in a prominent city on the east coast of the United States. It wasn't until late last night and early this morning that I started seeing my local stores stocking out. I've spoken with other individuals all over the country, and they have similar stories.
That actually happened with me, too. Like, when me and my dad were going to get a Switch 2, like, we thought there'd be a line, everything. They had, like, 12 left. Only one guy was there, just look at it and walked away. Like, no one was interested, like, in my town, day 1. Or maybe they were all just going to Walmart. We don't have any more. So maybe it was Walmart everyone was going to. But, like, I was shocked. They had so much in stock. I thought, like, immediately everyone would have bought one. But either, I don't know what's up with it. But obviously that doesn't speak for everything. So, yeah.
Switch 2s took a lot longer to start selling out than we were led to believe. In fact, there are plenty of stores around the country that still have Switch 2s available for purchase right now.
Obviously.
Yes, this is circumstantial. Yes, the Mario Kart bundle might be super sold out in your area, and yes, none of it changes the fact that there are lots of people who want the system but do not yet have it, and anything can happen. As this video posts publicly, it could sell out across the world at the snap of my fingers. Maybe I do have magic, but something really dawned.
Actually, no, you can't have magic. You're a fake wizard. It's like your whole brain.
On me as I was seeing all the package acquired posts from all the Nintendo customers on Twitter. there is very clearly a particular clientele of people who are buying the Nintendo Switch 2 right now.
Gamers.
And if you're part of these groups, you might be part of the problem.
No, you're not. You're just wanting to have fun. I think you see where, like...
Welcome to The Pondering. I am the real-life fake wizard. I'm a business owner working with lots of small businesses up and down the East Coast. I'm speaking to this with an educated...
Please say you run your business with the fake beard and hat. Please, that would be incredible. Please say you do that.
...background in business and marketing, as well as working through corporate America across the last decade. If this video brings you any value at all, I invite you to subscribe to this channel where we're covering the entertainment industry all the time. Let's get this...
This is entertainment in a nutshell.
Out of the way. There are 3 types of people buying the Switch 2 right now, contributing to Nintendo's gambit. The first is content creators, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. Like, if there weren't content creators, I'd be worried.
Gaming creators need to have first dibs on the consoles so they can keep making that sweet content. Normally, I don't have a problem with this. Content creators are the first line of defense, saving you money. If you're interested in something like Dragon Age Veilguard, it helps to see a content creator experience that game for themselves.
Yeah, how does that not apply to the Switch 2?
You can see if it's worth the $70 investment for you. However, in this case, I don't think creators deserve that pass. The only real game worth...
You don't need a pass to buy a console. You're clearly wanting the Nintendo Switch 2, but you don't deserve it. Well, actually, when you
featuring on the Switch 2 is Mario Kart World. And let's not pretend that it's anything really new here.
Elden Ring, by that definition, or actually that's, will be a bit less extreme with our comparison. Dark Souls 3 was not something really new if you're going to go down that avenue. Infamous Second Son was like a PlayStation 4 seller. It was not something very new by your definition. This where...
In fact, most Nintendo games, while entertaining, are usually the same exact thing as the previous installment with a fresh coat of yellow paint.
Couldn't you say that about any franchise? In that case, like... Oh yeah, Mario Odyssey was just like Mario 64. It's just like all the other 3D Mario games because they all have Mario doing platforming and Goombas. So they're clearly the same thing with a fresh coat of paint. And Zelda, all those... Actually, I could get that more like Zelda. It's an open world Mario Kart game. Something completely new. There's new tricks. There's new characters. New levels. There's new stuff in general. And a huge world. It's like the most unique Mario Kart game since Double Dash.
Are there creators who bought this just for content coverage? Yes.
Obviously.
Is that the majority?
Probably.
No. And that...
Actually, yeah, probably not. I'll admit I was actually wrong there. A lot of them probably actually just wanted it themselves as well.
Brings us into Group 2. Don't take this the wrong way. I wouldn't want to offend. But Group 2 is the actual majority of people buying the Switch 2.
Okay.
I would speculate that this category consists of 70% of all the current Switch 2 buyers to date. And that is neckbeards.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to offend, but 70% of the people who bought this console are neckbeards. But I don't want to offend, okay? I don't want to offend anyone.
Yes, I said the neckbeards. The aggressively emotionally attached fanboys.
Oh, yeah. Yep, obviously. Good point. Make your point now.
The guys and gals that look like soy jacks, and when you criticize Nintendo for its predatory practices, these folks put a curse on you and 7 generations of your bloodline. And
I don't want to offend, though.
Look, I'm not here to bully people. Like, that's not the point at all.
Yeah, you're clearly not trying to bully people. You're not trying to be rude or anything.
As someone who works in marketing and studies business, I'm fascinated with understanding what makes people buy things.
You might need to get a new job.
Here, as an example, when you're shopping, whether it be Amazon or in the grocery store, as you're scanning everything, and just before you swipe your credit card, I want you to consider, what did they do to convince me to buy this?
Good advice.
This particular item, a lot of it's emotions. A lot of your buying habits, whether you want to admit it or not, is entirely impulse.
Yeah, but it makes you happy. Why should you care?
Lots of the crap
Well, unless you're like in crippling debt, I guess. Oh, I muted it. Wait.
or not is entirely impulse. Lots of the crap we buy on Amazon we could do without, but our emotions are high, dopamine is kicking, and companies play on impulse control to get us to buy things. And so seeing all these photos of the long lines at the midnight releases, you see a very clear class of character. Neckbeards, baggy t-shirts, unwashed hair, likely born in the 90s, and most importantly, they are die-hard Nintendo fans.
Don't want to offend though. We don't want to offend anyone. We're not trying to be bullying. We're not trying to bully anyone. We're just trying to speak business. You know, by calling all these people. Let's see what he called them again.
Very clear distinctions. Neckbeards, baggy t-shirts, unwashed hair, likely born in the 90s, and most importantly, they are die-hard Nintendo fans.
Well, let's. I shouldn't have closed the tab. I forgot. Switch to Best Buy line. Let's see it. Oh, there. Yep, neckbeards. All these people, like 70% of these people here, are neckbeards, baggy t-shirts, born in the 90s. Like, look at that guy. He looks like he was born in the 90s right there. Same with that person. They all look like they're born in the 90s. Like 90% of them. Look at those people. Clearly born in the 90s, all of them. And baggy t-shirts, neckbeards. You can't really see that. I can't. I guess that technically is one, but that's just like a beard.
These are the people who don't care that they're buying Breath of the Wild for the third time, nor do they care they'll need to buy the DLC again, nor do they care that they already spent 400 hours playing it the first time.
I'm sorry, you don't need to buy the DLC again. If you already owned it, and if you spent 400 hours on a game, you probably really liked that game. I'd replay Breath of the Wild, and I spent like 600 hours on that game. And I'm willing to replay it, not yet, but like I'm able to replay it on Switch 2, and it works better. It's just a better version of the game. If you love the game, why wouldn't you get the better version of the game?
They're going to spend another 400 hours again now. In a few minutes.
Yep, if you like the game, obviously.
I'm going to actually talk about why I believe Nintendo released the console at this time.
Money.
For this price, and with this lineup of games.
Money.
And I fully believe it has everything to do with knowing that the neckbeard category here was going to buy it with unwavering, unquestioning loyalty.
I still can't get over the fact that you said 70% are neckbeards. You know, there's this thing called a silent majority of people. I feel like that's what's going on. You're calling the loud minority of people like 70% of the people who are buying it because you're upset that people are enjoying something that you don't want them to enjoy. Like, can you not see that like most people like actually getting the console are just normal people who are just wanting to have fun with the new toy? I think it's fair. We're 5 minutes in this 17-minute video. I've been cutting too much. Sorry. I just want to like, we really got to break down everything he says.
But before that, what's the third category? Well, the third category is what I wish was harmless, because it's the category that matters most.
It's probably harmless.
And that is parents with their children.
I was right.
These are the people who don't keep up with all the intricacies of the industry.
Okay, let me actually say, I feel like this is actually the majority. I don't think it's neckbeards that make up the majority. I feel like it's mostly parents with with their children. Actually, I don't know. I feel like if there was a majority, like if you're categorizing everyone, that would be a slight majority, like 1% more. But like, I don't feel like there's one like huge majority. I feel like it's just like that's the majority, but it's like barely the majority. I think that's the best way to describe it.
They're not watching videos like this, and if they are, shout out to you. Because most parents just want to play games with their kids, and they wanted to share the experience of a midnight release or a launch day purchase of getting a Nintendo console with their kids.
Yeah, very innocent stuff. Very fair. Like, how could you see a problem with that?
I wish I could say this was entirely innocent, and
it is! What's not innocent about this?
You should be able to do something fun like this very freely.
Yes, you should! So why shouldn't you?
But these parents likely, unknowingly, are contributing to the problem of feeding the Nintendo greed machine.
Okay, I hate this point, and let me quickly break it down. Let's say, as most people should know now, Hershey, I believe it's Hershey, does slavery. Like, they use slavery to make their chocolate, right? I think it's Hershey. I might have gotten the company wrong. Does that mean, like, every time I'm buying a Hershey bar, that I want more slavery? No, I don't. Just like how when you buy a new Nintendo console and buy a new Mario Kart game, doesn't mean you support the prices. I mean, yeah, you're obviously, like, showing the company that it is profitable, but you shouldn't feel bad for doing something because you enjoy it. It's up to the companies to do better, not the people to punish them for it.
Playing into exactly what Nintendo wants, which will result in long-term negative effects for the rest of the buying population, as increased predatory prices will be legitimized.
Yeah, but they shouldn't be blamed for it. They shouldn't be like said, "Oh, you suck, and you're a neckbeard, or you're stupid for getting it." I know he's not claiming they're stupid, but like, you shouldn't make people feel bad for getting something they enjoy. Just because the company it is bad does not mean that you should feel bad for getting the fun thing.
So these are your three groups, folks. Are there minor segments inside of that? Sure, and I'm sure
I feel like they're more than just minor segments.
I'll hear from some of you in the comments about it, but from the broad macro, you're looking at parents and kids, content creators, and neckbeards.
No, you're not.
And all three of those people fell for this trap. Well,
what's his...
Wizard, it sounds like you're being judgmental of these people.
Yes, it does.
Well, maybe a little.
No, you clearly are.
I've made lots of videos explaining that this console and pricing strategy is bad for the overall video game marketplace.
Yep, it is, objectively. I don't want to have any, well, I don't think it's a majority. I still will say there are definitely neckbeards. But, I don't want them, saying, "Oh, yeah, you're right. Nintendo did nothing wrong." They did a lot wrong with this. I hate how they did it. I even said I hope the console fails, even though I'm getting one. I want the new fun toy, even though, I don't support it. But, you shouldn't feel bad for it. And you shouldn't be judged for it either. There's nothing wrong. If you want the Switch 2, go buy the Switch 2 and feel no shame for it.
I don't care so much for the console pricing, though $500 is a lot of money. I care more about the pricing on games. $80 video games is ridiculous.
You care enough to make a whole video where half of it is just making fun of the people who buy it and trying to blame them for making the industry worse.
And that's just the United States. Games are upwards of $120 in other countries, just with whatever their currency is. So yeah, pish posh, gaming is expensive. Yeah, it's expensive, but yep. I want the value to back my dollar investment, and I don't believe modern day gaming does.
I agree that gaming shouldn't be really expensive, or you shouldn't pay $70 for a small game and $80 for Mario Kart is bad. But to be fair, and to play devil's advocate here, the value of a dollar went down. Video games are still way more valuable than they were in the 90s. You pay way less in value for what you get.
$80 for Empty World Mario
for way more.
Kart is disgusting.
I mean, it's not the most full world, but I played it. It's not an empty world. There's still some stuff to do. And it's just fun to drive around. But that's just my opinion. Shouldn't be taken as, objective fact.
I'm still on Mario Kart Wii myself. Shit, I'm playing Walt Disney World Quest Magical Racing Tour right now. I don't need a new Mario Kart. The games are all the same thing.
Just because you don't care about a new Mario Kart does not mean that everyone shouldn't care.
It's just slightly nicer to look at. The point is, and old.
Okay. I mean, it's a graphical leap. It's more powerful than the PS4. I don't get why they're saying slightly nicer. I mean, we're getting to a point where, games will only, new consoles will only be slightly nicer each generation. You can't expect each one to be as big of a leap as SNES to N64 or N64 to GameCube. It's a new console. It has a lot of new stuff. What's the issue?
Always has been. The video game industry desperately wants to see the Switch 2 kick ass. PlayStation and Xbox both want to see the Switch 2 succeed.
No, they don't. They're competition. They want to do more than, do better than the Switch 2. Why do you want your competition to get way more sales than you? You want them to go to you. Well, yeah, you might like that they're making some things the norm. You still don't want them to, do better than you, because you want to be the main one in the industry.
Not because of console prices, but because of game prices. It's always been about the game prices. That's what matters most. If $80 for Mario Kart succeeds, all games will bump up to $80.
That's an exaggeration. I mean, yeah, a lot of the greedy companies will do that, but like just the normal companies won't just bring them up to $80.
And that's not a good thing. And of these people
It isn't.
buying the console, when you point out the fact that, hey, what Nintendo is doing is a terrible thing and will have long-term ramifications, lots of them run stupid defense. Like so stupid, their arguments fall apart instantly. And I'm losing the willpower to be kind in response to it. Oh, you're just mad that Nintendo raised prices first?
Obviously, you should be mad that they're raising the prices. You shouldn't be happy. Well, you don't need to be mad. That you don't need to care about it. It's like a niche thing. I don't know if gaming's niche anymore, but like it's something that most people won't care about, and you shouldn't need to care about it. But like, if you're like really pay attention, you probably shouldn't be happy that they're raising the prices.
Whoever did it first doesn't matter. They're all bad guys. All the corporations are bad guys. That point is irrelevant.
It's like how that point is irrelevant to your argument.
It's inflation.
I mean, it probably is partially inflation. It's not completely inflation. Like, obviously they want to make more money, but like, it's not. You can't just say there's no inflation.
No, it's not. All of that is just made up numbers. That's all baloney. Because if it were true to actual inflation, things would have been a lot more expensive than just $80.
Yeah. So we're actually in a pretty good deal right now. Again, I'm not defending them raising the price. I'm just saying, like, we've been lucky and we want to stay lucky.
Also, the perception of the item's value has decreased. So even if inflation was to be a factor, the value that buyers put on games now is substantially lower than what the inflation rate would be. Look at the AAA games that keep failing, like colossally failing. And they're going for full price.
To be fair, that argument, I mean, I'd agree that like a lot of AAA games are just slop, but like I wouldn't be able to say that like truthfully about Nintendo. Like the reason they're still alive and like the Switch sold so well, first of all, convenience, because it's a portable console. Like you want to be able to bring your console with you. You want to have something you can play in the car without using stupid touchscreens. But it's also because their games slap. I'm sorry, but like a lot of their games slap.
Inflation means nothing when the market's actions dictate success or failure. Anyone still using the inflation argument is playing into exactly what the corporations want you to believe. Oh,
Yeah, but it's also partially true.
Yes. Tell them it's inflation, yes. Write that down, write that down. You know,
It's partially inflation.
oh, here's a massive tangent, but
Not completely. Like, they're still really greedy, but like, it's partially inflation.
important. You know the world used to operate with the market buyers in control? Like you, as a customer, used to have
It still does.
so much more power than you do today. Companies sell things, and if people don't buy those things, the companies fail. Well, after the success of the entertainment industry from the 1990s through about 2015, the dynamic flipped around. Companies believe they control the relationship with their buyers now. Whereas buyers used to have a real voice on what products and services are.
Buyers do. It's just there's so many buyers that like just a few, like just even a million won't change how the market is. You need like buyers still have the same amount of authority, like in all. It's just the same amount of authority is split between way more people, so it's hard to like make a successful movement against it.
Made based on what they're willing to buy. Now companies think that not only can they belittle you for rejecting their products, they believe you owe them just for the sake of they made things.
I mean, you don't. If you don't believe it's worth it, then you won't buy it. The market still goes by if the consumer believes that it's worth it, they'll buy it. If they don't, they won't. It's just like there's more people and more of them are more lenient to the corporations, like the gaming corporations. So like obviously it will still succeed. But like they can't just release the worst thing ever, like a console that doesn't even work. They still have to make it function and actually be an improvement. Otherwise people won't go and buy the Switch 2.
Even if those things are made to insult you, go against what you believe in, or take advantage of you.
I'm not insulted by Mario Kart World being $80. I'm not someone who like has their whole meaning behind the pricing of games and what a company thinks of me. I know they couldn't care less about me. I'm just like annoyed that it's going up and it's still worth it in my eyes, but like I'm not gonna like be upset about it. Well, I guess I'm slightly upset about it, but like I'm not gonna whine about it.
But back to Nintendo here. Why would Nintendo put a console out at the beginning of the summer with such a non-important lineup.
A lot more free time for kids. Kids are more likely to buy it when they have free time. The parents want the kids to do something, now they'd stop annoying them. It's very obvious.
Like, why is it just Mario Kart? Why isn't there anything else?
The Switch 2 and Switch 1 was just Breath of the Wild. It's not like this some huge, new, and unique thing where it has like only 5 launch games. That happened with the Switch 1.
Well, as of right now, we don't have a release date for Metroid. Donkey Kong isn't until the middle of July. Pokemon isn't coming out until October. So why is there such a staggered release of games to match with the console? I believe it's specifically because of the 30-year-old plus neckbeards that they want to get out of the way. Switch 2.
My assumption, I don't know that much about business. I'm not like a trained professional like this guy who doesn't even know the demographics of the console. But if I had to give a guess as to why, I'd assume that it was probably because like they knew that they'd get a lot for less at the beginning, because like a lot of people see it as an investment to get the new console for later stuff. So they were able to get the money sooner instead of just waiting for the games to release, because the console to most people is an investment. You're not playing it you're like buying it for just one game usually. You're buying it now you can get a lot more games in the future. So like if you know for certain you're going to want to play a game on it, you might as well get it on release day or as soon as possible. Now you can just play that game on release. So, like, it just gets the company money sooner. But, like, I don't think it's neckbeards. Like, that's such a small minority of people. It's not the majority like he thinks.
2 launches on June 5th. Donkey Kong doesn't come out until July 17th. That's a little over a month for stores to get at least 1 or 2 more shipments of consoles. And then they'll all sell out again on the Donkey Kong release date. So,
yep, like I said, but, like, it's not neckbeards. It's just normal people knowing that this is an investment. A console is an investment. You're getting it not just for the games that aren't there now. You're getting it for the games you'll have later. When it, like a modern console, like if you buy a Wii U, you're obviously not buying it for like games that'll come out later. But, like for modern consoles, it's an investment to most people. You don't buy it only for the new Mario Kart game, even though you really want it. You're buying it for the Donkey Kong game, the Metroid game. You're buying it for the new Duskbloods. You're buying it for many other games. The future Zelda game, the future Mario game.
So at this point, we've put the console in the hands of the types of loyal fans that are the reason there are smell warfare rules in Magic the Gathering competitions.
Are there actually? That'd be hilarious.
And anyone who missed the initial launch will pick up the console when Donkey Kong drops. And if people miss it again, they'll buy it when Metroid drops.
Obviously. That's not something you need to have, like, to know a lot about business to understand.
And that takes us into Pokemon, which specifically comes out in October and not November when, oh, what's that? The holiday shopping season happens? Nintendo's lineup of games is staggered to satisfy the type of fans that would be buying the console for a specific reason at that specific time.
You mean like any business does? He's acting like there's something to be upset at. Like saying, boo! Boo, Nintendo! How dare you do this? How dare you! It's just normal business. What am I supposed to be like? Like, am I supposed to be so mad because they're doing what every other company does? It's not even evil. They're just, like, doing smart business. This isn't, like, evil business. It's like, oh, we'll release it here, and, like, people can buy it later if they want it. I don't think the pricing is good business, but, like, the way, like, the times they're releasing this stuff isn't evil or anything. It's not, like, something to be upset at. Why would you be upset about this? This is such a nothing point.
There are plenty of people who play Mario Kart and don't play Pokemon. There are plenty of people who play Pokemon but don't play Mario Kart.
Obviously.
So by putting the games out and consoles out in this way, released in this order, it is practically guaranteeing financial success. You may
obviously
not need it right now, but when that Pokemon game drops, it's going to be hard to get your hands on a console.
Thankfully, I'm not getting one at that time. I'm not a Pokemon fan. I mean, I don't dislike anyone for playing it, but, like, to me, I'm just not a turn-based combat fan.
Nintendo is deviously smart, wickedly in tune with who they're selling to. Nintendo holds back on content to sell it back to you later.
Yep. So what?
They're staggering the game launch to draw in sold-out taglines to tell their shareholders at specific times.
Again, so what?
Which then makes this console launch a massive success, which then makes the $80 game prices legitimate.
It sucks that it's $80 now, but I can't be upset about like the order they're releasing stuff. They're just doing normal business. Same with the consoles. I can't be like saying Nintendo, like I think it's greedy, but like it's normal business at the end of the day. I can't like be upset at people for buying it when like most people still see the game as worth $80, even though it is more expensive. Just most people see it as worth the price.
Talk about,
and you can't be upset at them for it.
Holding content back. Take a look at this. So the day one patch came out yesterday for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and based on what it was, which upscaled the FPS and made the game slightly more playable but still ugly, that patch was leaked in 2023, which means that they had the power to unlock that game's frame rate for years.
I will say Game Freak does suck. I don't like them. Which is also another reason why I don't get Pokemon games. Like, I still don't buy stuff. I don't like the company that much. But I also think, am I going to be happy with the product they give me? And decide if my morals, like, is it morally wrong to get it? No, obviously. No matter what, it's not morally, I guess if someone dies from it. But, like, if it's just a video game, it's not morally wrong to get it. It's just like, am I deciding I want to support that enough to play? Like, am I willing to pay up the money for that product? And like for Pokemon, I always say no, especially since I'm not a turn-based combat fan.
But held off to make the Switch 2's launch seem like you're getting the complete version of this almost 3-year-old game.
I am a bit curious though. Is that just the Switch 2 version that they couldn't release on the Switch 1 for obvious reasons because the Switch 1's not as powerful? Or is it because like that was an update that also worked for Switch 1? Again, I don't know.
Here's another one. The upcoming Pokemon Legends ZA game gets a Switch 1 and a Switch 2 edition. That second edition comes at the additional cost of $10.
Greedy, but I mean, I'm not surprised.
But people are already catching that this upgrade pack's memory size is only 1 megabyte.
It's just an upgrade pack. Actually, I don't know. I don't know much about this stuff. I can't criticize it. Ignore my previous statement about it's just an upgrade pack. It probably is supposed to be greater, so they probably were lazy with that. I'd not be surprised.
That means is that the installation of the game has all the features that cost $10 more on the Switch 2 in its memory. But you're buying the 1 megabyte JavaScript to unlock those features on the Switch 2 console. This is like the final boss of Horse DLC. Content is now shipping with day one DLC that's padlocked inside the game's code. That's wild. And worse, this is FPS updates.
Yeah, you shouldn't charge for an FPS update. Especially with how bad I saw Scarlet and Violet was at launch. You shouldn't be doing that. But like, what does that have to do with certain people who bought the Switch 2?
Well, Wizard, what does this have to do with the 3 groups of people you...
Just what I said. What the heck?
Presented before. Everything. It has everything to do with them.
Please explain.
As they said in Mike Myers' Cat in the Hat, which is a classic, it's fun to have fun, but you have to know how. I love playing games. I like Nintendo stuff. I think Fire Emblem is one of the best franchises ever. I loved Pokemon almost my entire life. And I may love the properties and Pikachus and all that, and that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. There's no problem with that.
That doesn't mean I should refrain from questioning the company that makes these things.
It doesn't mean you have to question it either.
I've already explained, Nintendo is making a calculated gambit here.
Like any company.
They're making a play to jack up the prices of gaming permanently. But it's also only ever going to keep going up. Games are $80 now.
That's how economy works. Good job.
But they'll push to 90 and then to 100. And you really want to pay that? You shouldn't want to pay that. And the only way to fight those prices is to fight back with your wallet. And the neckbeards, who were entirely incapable of taking a breather and waiting a moment, bought thousands of consoles. There are thousands of consoles in play right now.
You shouldn't feel bad for it, and most people are not neckbeards. I am just repeating the same points against this, because all he says is the same thing. Just like, oh, I'm going to explain this separate thing, and then go back to this point and say the exact same thing and not add anything to it.
And Nintendo gets to report to the world that the Switch 2 is a success. If you bought the Nintendo Switch 2, $80 video games are your fault.
No, they're not. Well, I guess they're slightly, but like, you shouldn't feel bad for it. Have fun. Be happy you're having fun. I hope you have the best time with the Nintendo Switch 2. If you don't want to buy it, because Nintendo sucks and they're a greedy company, obviously, good on you. I'm not upset either. I support it. You're taking one for the team. Good job. But like, if you don't do that, you shouldn't feel like, oh, I'm a horrible person, or like, I'm ruining gaming. Don't feel like that. Don't act like, you're better than that. You don't need to feel bad about it. It's people like this who are trying to make people feel bad for just having fun. And that's why I don't get, I mean, yeah, the first half, I'm sorry, I'm actually like acting, like I'm a bit more upset here, like after the third one. But like for a year, I was like more joking around, and I was still joking around sometimes. Like, these people are what's ruining gaming more than Nintendo. These people.
So I hope it was worth it.
Oh, I pressed so many buttons. I don't even know what I did with N. I don't know what N does on YouTube. Is it still muted? Okay, it's not anymore. It was extremely worth it. I'd buy another one if I could. I'm broke, though.
Until next time, create, innovate, inspire, and for the love of God, cancel Disney Plus. And don't buy the Switch 2 yet.
Unless you want to. Anyway, go back to Narnia. See ya.
I am the best Minecrafter ever in history, yeah. Notch would always be proud of me. I am the best ever, yeah. You know that I'm not noob, yeah. You all are newbies, yeah. You should go get griefed.